What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, our YouTube channel, Inside the Game Official. While you're there, make sure you hit that sub button. You can join us all across all of our TV streaming platforms, just like Roku TV, Amazon Prime, Jinx Esports TV, ESTV, and the list goes on. Check out our Fast channel. We are live 24/7 over on Rad TV, and of course, all 212 of those audio platforms, thanks to our friends at Fired Up Network. We are virtually everywhere. You can't miss us. And we got a couple surprises coming up very soon, so make sure you stick around for those. Scott, we got a lot to talk about today. Some major news. What's going on?
Yes, today we have the Horizon MMORPG job listing that's bringing a lot of questions and hopefully some answers to you. Star Wars Outlaws has a release window, and JUKAI Studio has unfortunately announced a closure.
It continues once again, doesn't it? It just never ends, Scott. But there's some unfortunate reasons behind that, and we will get into that. But Scott, I want to ask you off the top. It's now 2024. The games are starting to come up here shortly. What's your most anticipated title of 2024?
There's definitely a few. I have to look at my short list, but high up on that list has to be Little Nightmares 3. The surprise reveal, Little Nightmares 3, was something I didn't realize I wanted more of, but the more I see that game, the more I love it. And then the idea of a co-op multiplayer ability. Finally, me and my brother are going to be able to play this game together.
Oh, that sounds super cool, super cool. For me, man, I'm all kind of over here, I'm over there. I'm trying to come up with an actual, which way do I want to go? And I think I've seen a lot of it getting posted, and I think I have to agree. Star Wars Outlaws, man. It's a high anticipated title. And then I gotta think of Assassin's Creed Red. The next Assassin's Creed. Dude, if they can follow suit with Mirage, I love Mirage, 100% of that game. If they can keep it going, keep that stealth aspect there, keep it alive, I'll be so into that one. Feudal Japan, something fans have been asking for quite some time. Is definitely something we all want, right? Man, it's been years. Like, it's been around 15 years now. So we all kind of wanted something in that world of feudal Japan. About time we're going to get it. It has to be... You know what? Dude, I'm going to do it. I'm taking it over. Assassin's Creed Red, my most anticipated title for 2024, has got to overthrow Star Wars Outlaws. I didn't think I was going to do it.
It's a hard choice.
It is, but I got to go with it, man. Star Wars looks cool. But if we can get that one, whoo, I'm set. That's for sure. Let's get into today's show. Scott, we're kicking it off. Dude, it's a good one. Horizon MMORPG is now essentially confirmed to be in development, the job listing suggested. Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer. More details about an MMO based on Guerrilla's Horizon franchise have popped up online via two new job listings. Video game researcher Kira Cassis took to Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it these days, earlier today to detail everything they know to date about the upcoming game, including a rumor that it will be an MMORPG to be precise. They also shared details of job listings that seem to confirm the game in development may be called, quote, Land of Salvation, end quote. Dude, I like it. I like it.
You know, that has a lot better of a ring to it than Factions does, doesn't it?
Certainly does, yes.
Cool.
Quote, the game is now essentially confirmed to be in development. As an NCSoft employee posted a job listing on LinkedIn with the code name logo stylized similarly to their logo of Horizon games, end quote. Kirkastis said, quote, it's developed under the code name Project Skyline, with the initial code name being Project H, end quote. Project Horizon, right? The game is seemingly coming to PC and mobile. There's no mention of PS5 on either job listing currently available online, and is being developed in Unreal Engine 5. It, quote, is expected to launch significantly later than Aeon 2, which is anticipated to be released in 2024-2025, end quote. That's what NCSoft is currently working on. They're working on an MMORPG already called Aeon 2. Once they've wrapped that up, then we're getting this Horizon game. We have to expect it's thought around 140 people were working on the game as of September 2023. Quote, The project is developed by Sungyu Lee's Lineage IP division and is led by Hong-Yo Choi, who previously was head of Lineage W development, end quote. And Kirkassis added, quote, the project started around 2021, according to a former NCSoft employee's resume on LinkedIn and Facebook, end quote. Quote, NCSoft registered a domain for what appears to be a game titled Land of Salvation. Land of Salvation could potentially be an official title for the Horizon MMO, end quote. Kirkassis said, quote, dude, there's a lot of quotes and unquotes, I'm telling you. This assumption is based on the fact that it is the only unannounced game we know of that could be revealed soon. Of course, it could be some other project we are not aware of, end quote. The leak comes just weeks after Sony and Guild Wars publisher NCSoft announced a strategic partnership which aims to, quote, expand beyond console and broaden PlayStation's reach to a wider audience, end quote. NCSoft's head Taijin Kim and Sony's Jim Ryan signed this partnership, with the companies now set to collaborate in various global business fields, including mobile, together. While no specifics were mentioned, the two companies stated they are evaluating a range of potential opportunities with an aim to foster strategic synergy, end quote. This will include leveraging NCSoft's technological prowess, end quote, as well as Sony's, quote, global leadership in the entertainment field, end quote. Dude, if anybody wants to play a game this morning, it is the, quote, drinking game. You should be hammered by now. I'm telling you.
It's a little early for that one myself, but...
Holy, maybe they catch it late in the afternoon. You can get drunk on us. You're welcome. This is interesting to think that, first of all, Scott, did you catch off the top? No mention of PlayStation 5.
Yeah, this would be the first, to my knowledge, that would be the first PlayStation project to entirely skip a console. Perhaps there's something out there that I'm not familiar with when it comes to mobile or Vita/mobile. But rest in peace, Vita.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's two things, though. If you do cut out the PlayStation, my question is why? Because I think Final Fantasy XIV runs on a PlayStation as well.
Yep.
And that's one of the biggest, largest, once shut down, rebirthed MMO type game ever. Yeah. So I wonder at that point, well then why? Unless this is something that is truly so far off in the distance. They don't want to tie it to any sort of PlayStation hardware, developer kits. This is something that is meant to live on beyond the PlayStation 5, perhaps. This is all a huge amount of speculation going on in my head. I have to state that. I don't know any industry secrets that would illuminate this further, but from what we're reading, this all does seem to add up quite strong towards a Horizon MMO.
It does. It has me very excited, but I think you make a valid point. The fact that there is no PS5 mentioned is because if this comes after Aeon 2, which is 2024, 2025, it's still going to be in development probably another 2-3 years after that. Puts us in the range of PlayStation 6, doesn't it?
Yeah, if we go by traditional kind of console life cycles, then I'm certainly looking at a PlayStation 6 by then.
Which, Guerrilla's also got to be working on another Horizon game. Like, we've heard of the Monster Hunter-esque experience coming out of Guerrilla for another Horizon experience. Yo, I am down for that. And then all of this MMO stuff is another conversation piece in itself, which they seem to be collaborating with Guerrilla of, hey, here's our IP, NCSoft, known for MMOs, take it, put it into an MMORPG, but it can't be, dude, it's a PlayStation through and through brand. There's no way it's going to be PC mobile only. There's got to be a PlayStation tie-in somehow, right? So, get rid of PlayStation 5, because by the time we actually get this, it is going to be a PlayStation 6. It has me excited for the future of Horizon, because now at this point, Burning Shores is long gone. So what is next for Horizon? Guerrilla's working on something now. What are they working on? Burning Shores is what, 2 years old now? A year old? Man, when did that come out? It's been a while. So
it's flying by, isn't it? We're already 3 years into the life cycle of these consoles, I think.
3, maybe 4. Yeah, something like that. So when we're looking at the lineup now for Guerrilla, they're going to be busy for the next few years working on something. Apparently it's not this. So it has to be essentially Horizon 3, right? Because if you finish Horizon Forbidden West, it ends on this setup piece, I'll call it, that gets you into Horizon 3. Do they take a side quest stop and then you just go, we're going to do another little side story over this way instead? But they brought us Burning Shores, which was a great piece of DLC. Actually, Steve and I gave it a 10. It was incredible. We had a blast playing that. Or they go now deep, full dive into production, third title, wrap up the trilogy, to keep that trilogy and this franchise going, is when we then see the MMORPG later on, right? A couple years later.
It's possible. I'm wondering if this could be the third piece, and these ideas have been mashed together now in something similar to what happened with Diablo, where it is essentially its core game, but it has MMO elements tossed on top of that.
Sure.
And adds lots of venue to extend the life cycle of that game. That's something I could see NCSoft stepping into help as well. But then we're getting into the future of the entire franchise. To your point, how do you wrap up a third game if that is not indeed the end of the trilogy? Is this a supporting thing? I joke about it being factions because, well, there are a ton of tribes in the world of Horizon that really could work out very well that way.
Oh, man. I do miss being in the world of Horizon, right? There's lots of opportunity there. The game, Horizon Forbidden West, is massive. And then we have Burning Shores. So what does come next? Where is that monster
of the Mountain, too.
Well, yeah, man, I forgot about that. I played that, too. That was cool. That's a cool VR experience. Man, there's nothing like having a tall neck walk above you, and you look up, go, whoa. Like, it was mind-blowing.
If that didn't do goosebumps, you're just not going to get goosebumps.
Yeah, but again, this is something that's going to be another 7-8 years away, right? When you think about it, job listings are coming. So by the time they wrap up one game, get into the next one, Jim Ryan signing deals here and there before he leaves. Potential to keep around for Horizon is definitely in the near future. But where is that? I want that Monster Hunter experience, right? I do want that. Be out there with some friends, looking down and trying to get a tall neck, or trying to get, you know, one of the big behemoth like creatures. And it's just, opportunities are there for another experience that isn't just Aloy's story. But time will tell, but there's a lot to unpack, I think, when we get into whatever Guerrilla's up to next. Scott, topic number 2 is another hot one because we continue on with Star Wars Outlaws. Release window has been confirmed. Mike Straw over at Insider Gaming. Disney has confirmed their release window for Star Wars Outlaws. According to the blog post via the Disney Parks website, the game is set to release in late 2024. Quote, Star Wars Outlaws, the open world Star Wars game, is set to release late this year. End quote. The post reads, quote, the game lets you explore distinct planets across the galaxy, both iconic and new. You can risk it all as Kay Vess, an emerging scoundrel seeking freedom and the means to start a new life, along with her companion Nyx. If you're willing to take the risk, the galaxy is full of opportunity. End quote. Star Wars Outlaws was first revealed back in June during the Xbox Game Showcase. Since the summer, however, news has been quiet on the upcoming Ubisoft game. That's all we really kind of know about what's happening there, Scott. I didn't expect to see this game this year. I saw people are talking about what their most anticipated game of 2024 is. Dude, I really kind of saw this getting pushed into 2025.
Yeah, for some reason, maybe it's a made-up memory now, but I thought it had experienced some sort of a delay or was nestled on a shelf perhaps for some time, but yeah. I'm very happy to see that there is some sort of a confirmation here. We're getting it in the last window, the last quarter of this year, perhaps.
So, okay.
That's quite a whiles away, and we've had a year of delays that we are just coming out of now, so I'm going to take that with a little bit of salt.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at what Ubisoft is up to right now, because January 18th kicks off with Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I can't wait.
I'm hoping that's a banger. Yeah,
I was able to get 3 hours of preview time on it. You can check it out over on our YouTube channel. Full preview over there. It is awesome. I had a blast playing that. That comes out on January 18th, which is then followed up. You can take it with however you want, but it's coming. It finally is going to surface in February, which is, dude, I can't find the actual release. There it is. Skull and Bones, a month later at February 16th. So there's 2 games right off the hop, okay? Prince of Persia, Skull and Bones, which Granted, I got back into the closed beta. I'm like, man, I've already played the beginning of this game 5 times, which I noticed they changed again when I was playing. I was like, that character wasn't that character before, and now it's changed and this, that, and the other. I'm like, you know what? I'm walking away from this. I don't want to play anymore until I get the full game. I've seen enough. I just want to get in there and have the full experience, see what that is like. I have high hopes for it. High hopes, low expectations. Let's put it that way, right? It's one of those things. So
I think I have to echo that as well. I'm hopeful because Ubisoft is one of my favorite producers of games, but then again, not so sure.
Yeah, you just kind of question what's going to happen there, right? So when we have 2 games coming in January, February, that leaves a long open window for what the future holds for what else is coming from Ubisoft this year. 2 big titles are supposed to come this year that take a ton of time. Star Wars now, Outlaws, confirmed, late window for 2024. The other one, though, Assassin's Creed Red, the feudal Japan setting for the next Assassin's Creed game, which is going to be like a Valhalla experience, right? 150, 200, 300 hours, however they make this, how big they make this thing. So then there's those 2 games. Here's what we kind of figured at last year, that we're going to get Prince of Persia, and then we're going to get Skull and Bones, because, dude, I said they're going to bury Skull and Bones in February. There it is. Right? There it is. And then from there, we'll get Assassin's Creed. And then sprinkles of, like, Ubisoft originals. This is kind of what I expect, right? Something else that's small is going to come in probably in around the summer-ish, and then tie us into Assassin's Creed like we normally get in the fall. You're not going to do Assassin's Creed and Star Wars in the fall, Scott.
Yeah, you're right. That would be too much, just too heavy balancing for the end half of the year, really.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is something they don't need to package or bury next to anything. So I agree with you there. It does kind of seem strange. One of those may move, one of those may shift as we learn more throughout the year, but I am still hopeful for Star Wars. Again, though, like I said, take that with salt. I think that is going to be the one to be moved back, if any.
I think that's the biggest thing. I still don't see it. Maybe confirmed on the blog post, but I can still see this getting pushed into 2025 and then having Assassin's Creed fill that holiday season kind of thing, right? October, November, December area. If this is the case, though, if this is true, and we get Star Wars for that window, are we getting Assassin's Creed come summertime?
Ooh, could push it up even closer. Yeah.
Right?
Now memory is failing. When did Mirage drop this year?
It was October, I want to say.
October,
November.
Was it October? Yeah, no, I think you're right. October 12th or something like that. So summer release would be a little early, but could certainly work.
Absolutely. It could fill that gap for Ubisoft, right? They bring it in around the game, Summer Game Fest.
If it is ready to go, though, there's a big asterisk next to that, which is Ubisoft they're not known for their day one blazing experiences or their server connection issues. So hopefully it's ready to go.
Well, then there's the other side of it too. X Defiant probably coming out this year. They've had to go back to not really the drawing board, but back to the studio to fix a bunch of stuff for certification under PlayStation, right? They went to PlayStation, they said, "Hey, take a look at the game." They're like, "Yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good. This needs fixed, this needs fixed, this needs fixed." So they go back after getting certified to go get it recertified so they can make sure that everything hits all the boxes that they needed to. That would be another one I expect this year. X Defiant, I think, is ready to go. They just need to clean up a couple things, and then that's what we're getting. That I could see hit summer. But I just don't know where Assassin's Creed falls then if you're looking to launch Star Wars this fall.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely possible, given the amount of studios that Ubisoft has. These could all land within these projected windows here. But to your point, as a company, Ubisoft, you think you'd clean up the schedule a little bit more.
I would think so, right? But if you start off with Prince of Persia, then Skull and Bones will never make back the money that they spent to make that game. But I'm hoping it surprises us. Then we get X Defiant, then Assassin's Creed, and then Star Wars. That's 6 titles this year out of Ubisoft. And I'd say half to 3/4 of them could be absolutely bangers. Man, could be a good year for Ubisoft. I got high hopes. Scott, it continues. Stray Souls developer JUKAI Studio announces closure. Sophie McCoy, Evoy, over at gamesindustry.biz. JUKAI Studio announced its closure over the holidays despite launching its horror survival title Stray Souls last October. In a statement shared on social media on December 22nd, the developer cited many reasons for its decision to shut down, including the closure of its publisher Versus Evil, cyberbullying, poor reception to Stray Souls, and bad sales. Quote, "We did everything in our power to bring the project to completion in the best possible form. But throughout the entire duration, we, our publisher staff, our publisher dev teams, and our close ones were constantly attacked by cyber prosecutor. And some of you, as our community, were also tormented with unwanted messages and emails," end quote. The developer said. Dude, that's a load of crap. That is horrible. That is horrible.
Yeah,
that people do this.
That goes too far, and I want to state that, you know, I wasn't very happy with Stray Souls either. I'm not sure anybody was, but to go this level and to antagonize people like that is just insane. For what? What do you gain?
Yeah, absolutely
nothing.
nothing.
I promise you, those stories with your friends aren't worth it. It's not funny. It won't be funny forever.
No, absolutely not. Quote, "We understand that you did not wish to continue actively supporting us for the obvious reasons mentioned above," end quote. It continued. Quote, "The matter is now in the hands of our lawyers, so we cannot speak about it any further. We know that we will not abandon Stray Souls despite the studio's closure," end quote. How will they not abandon? If they're going to close the studio, aren't you kind of abandoning Stray Souls?
Yeah, there's no server connection, no online anything. That's puzzling.
JUKAI Studio
There's a huge list of things to fix, but you're not doing that without the lights on.
Yeah, exactly, right? JUKAI Studio clarified that no staff have been laid off in the process, as it never functioned as a large corporation, adding, "Together, we decide that each of us will go their separate ways," end quote. Scott, it just continues, man. Another studio down. It's just sad to see. Making games is hard. Straight up. It is not an easy thing to do.
No.
And when you're getting cyberbullied too, and the poor reception of Stray Souls, I get it. Like, you played it, you reviewed it for our show, and it did not get a good score. And it was felt like that across the board, right? From other outlets. It just wasn't well received. To do everything in your power is one thing, but to do it properly is another. And I wonder if they would have been able to do it properly, get it to the polished level, the polished state, without all the bugs, without all the broken mechanics in it. Would we be in a different light, and would JUKAI Studio still be alive? It's just sad to see another studio go down after such a horrendous year last year. We've already seen 2 studios continue on the path of last year and close, right? It's just, man, oh man, it needs to stop. I keep saying it, Scott. It needs to stop. But the cyberbullying, that stops. That just needs to stop now. Ridiculous.
No, that exposes the human element to me, which is the saddening part, is that these are a very small number of individuals. At the end of the day, this is not a ginormous, massive corporation. And I do feel for these people. They took a foot out into danger, and they did not keep it.
Scott, day 2 being back from holidays and is showing as there are no releases once again. It is mind-blowing. But we want to thank you all for hanging out with us for this past half hour, keeping you up to date with ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Drew. That's Scott.
And we'll see you inside the game.